So the first reason or the first cause of stress is when you are unhappy at your workplace, and you might be unhappy due to various reasons, okay? But when you're unhappy at your workplace, when you're not satisfied, that can cause stress. Next is having a heavy workload or too much responsibility. When a person has a lot of responsibility, or when a person has a lot of work, okay, then the person can be stressed. Okay, so when you have a lot of work to do and very less time, you are ultimately stressed. Okay, now this is another cause of stress. When you have a lot of work to do, when you have a lot of responsibility to do, and when you're not able to handle everything properly, that's when you can be stressed. The next reason is working long hours. When you work for long hours, suppose you have to work for 10 hours continuously, of course, it is going to cause a lot of stress. Of course, this is going to make you tired, okay? After working for many hours continuously, your body will give up. Okay, your body will give up, and that causes stress. Okay, so there are certain ways also to get rid of this kind of problems. I will also discuss about that, but first of all, I will explain you the causes of stress. So this is another cause of stress. When you work continuously, when you work continuously for a long time, okay, for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours, then of course it can cause stress. Next is having poor management, unclear expectations of your work, or no say in the decision making process. When you are a part of a particular organization and when you see that the management is not good, okay, when the management is not good, and when things are not carried out in a systematic manner, and when you are not a part of the decision making process, when you have no say in the decision making process, and when you have unclear expectations of your work, when you are not clear regarding what to do and what not to do, and these things can cause a lot of stress at your workplace. Next point is working under dangerous conditions. So if you are forced to work under dangerous conditions, then of course this is going to cause a lot of stress. Working under dangerous conditions can really get stressful. Next is being insecure about your chance for advancement or risk of termination. So when you are insecure regarding your job, okay, when you are not at all secured at your workplace, when you feel that you might be terminated at any moment, then that can also be a cause of stress. Okay, when you have no guarantee, when there is no security, so then of course it can cause a lot of stress because you can be terminated at any moment. Okay, so these are some of the reasons or causes of stress. Let us see what are some of the other reasons. Having to give speeches in front of colleagues. So when you have to deliver speeches in front of colleagues, then or any other person in front of public, you might have you might not be able to deliver it properly. You might be nervous, you might get tensed, and this can be another reason of or another cause of stress before delivering any kind of presentation or before delivering any kind of speech, or while delivering a speech you might be nervous, or you might be tensed. Okay, now this fear is known as fear of public speaking or stage fear. Now if you have this fear, if you're not able to perform in front of the audience, then of course it can cause stress. Next is facing discrimination or harassment at work, especially if your company isn't supportive. So when you work in an organization, when you face discrimination or when you're harassed, and when the people in the organization do not support you, then of course it can also be a cause of stress. The death of a loved one, when somebody dies, okay, that can also be very stressful, okay, because death is a great loss, isn't it? And death of a loved one can definitely cause stress. Next is divorce. Divorce can also cause stress. Loss of a job, when you lost a job, okay, when you're terminated, that can also cause stress. Increase in financial obligations, okay, when you are financially not stable, when you are not being able to earn enough, then that can also cause stress. Getting married, okay, getting married is also a reason or a cause of stress because there's a lot of pressure behind it, so sometimes it can be stressful. Moving to a new home, again, when you shift from one place to another place, that can be a very stressful process, okay, and when you move from one home to another home, you have to set everything, and it is definitely a reason or a cause that or it is a cause of stress. Next is chronic illness or injury. Okay, when you are constantly ill, okay, due to some kind of disease, when you're constantly ill, when you don't feel well, or when you have some kind of injury, when your health is not good, then that can also cause that can also cause stress, okay, injury, any kind of injury, when you are not feeling good, when you're not feeling well, when you have certain health issues, then of course these physical problems, these physical issues can cause stress. Next is emotional problems such as depression, anxiety, anger, grief, guilt, low self esteem can also cause stress. So, emotion plays a very important role in this whole thing called stress. Okay, so if we are able to control our emotions, then we will also be able to control stress. But if we are not able to control our emotions, then we will not be able to control stress. Okay, so these are some of the emotions which can lead to stress, such as depression can lead to stress. When you are depressed, it causes stress. When you're anxious, when you're angry, when you're sad, when you're guilty, when you do not trust yourself, when you do not feel worthy enough, these emotional problems can definitely cause stress. Next is taking care of an elderly or sick family member. When you have to constantly take care of a sick family member or an elderly family member, and you cannot move anywhere, you cannot go anywhere due to due to this problem, because you have to take care of that particular person all the time, that can also be very stressful and it can also cause stress. Next is traumatic events such as natural disaster, theft, rape, or violence against you or a loved one can definitely cause stress. So, if you encounter any traumatic event, if you face any kind of violence against you, or if any of your family members have to face any kind of violence, okay, and that can be also very stressful. Natural disasters can also cause stress, because if there's flood, okay, suppose if there is flood, then if you have flood in your area, that can be very stressful. If somebody steals something, if there's a robbery at your place, then of course that can cause stress. So these kind of events can really be very stressful. So these are some of the reasons which can cause stress, and there are a lot of other reasons as well, okay. The yesterday I had given you an example, like if the fan stops in a in summer, when this fan stops in the summer due to power cut or due to any other reason, okay, especially due to power cut, when you're doing something, when the fan stops, you do not like it, isn't it? And that is also a kind of stress, okay, that is also a kind of stress. You also are stressed before exam, when you are hungry, then also you are stressed. So there are several things which can cause stress, okay. And sometimes stress can be of short term. Sh- Stress can last for only a small duration, and sometimes stress can last for a long duration. So stress can also be again divided into two different categories according to the duration, and sometimes stress can be short term, sometimes stress can be long term. Short term stress do not last for a very long duration and are not that harmful, but long term stress can definitely be harmful, okay. Long term stress can definitely be harmful to us. Now, as I have already explained the causes, some of the very common causes of stress, okay. Do you want to include any other cause of stress? Do you want to share any other cause of stress, or anything that had made you nervous or tensed which is not included in the list? You can share it. Yes, students?
Ma'am, can you repeat the question?
I have asked you all to share any other cause of stress which is not listed here, okay? So if you think that there is some other cause of stress, or if you can think of something now, so think of some other cause of stress, then you can share it with all of us. Or if you have gone through such a phase, what was the cause or what was the reason behind it, you can also share that journey or that incident. Is it clear now? Is my question clear now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so if anyone wants to share anything. So I have already explained you some of the common causes of stress. So these are some of the common causes of stress, and there are a lot of other causes as well. There are a lot of other reasons as well. If you can think of any other cause of stress, you can share it with all of us.
I'm stressed before exam.
Yes, stress before exam. Okay, I would like to again give you a few other examples which would also make it easier for you to understand it in a better way, which are not listed here. So, when suppose you are walking, okay, suppose you are walking and you suddenly fall, that can also cause stress. So, that would be a short term stress, okay, the duration of that
Ma'am,
particular.
accident.
Yes, accident can definitely cause stress, which has already been like mentioned here. Injury, okay, injury due to accidents can cause stress. Suppose you are unable to find out, or suppose you have to sign somewhere, you have to write something and you don't have a pen with you don't have a pencil with you, that can also cause stress. So these are some of the very silly reasons which can cause stress. So I just want to mean that anything and everything can cause stress, but we need to have a control over it. Okay, we need to have a control over it. If we have a control over these kind of things, this kind of silly things, then we will definitely be able to manage stress. And there are certain things which cannot be controlled, or which you cannot manage, or which you are not able to control. So in such situations you will be stressed. It can cause stress, but you have to be able to manage it. You have to be able to overcome it. Maybe it will take some time, but do not let it harm you. Do not let it hamper your mental peace. Okay, injuries or illness can also be very stressful. Illness or injury cannot harm your mental peace. You have to stay motivated at certain points in order to stay away from stress, or in order to control stress, like financial obligations. Okay, when you have certain financial problems, when you are not able to manage the finances well, then you might be stressed, but you have to figure out a particular way to come out of that situation, and you have to figure out how to manage your stress. So stress is everywhere, okay, but you should not let stress control you. You should not let stress hamper your energy, your peace. Okay, so that's what I meant. And I will also tell you some of the ways to overcome or to manage stress. So that's what this chapter is all about: stress management, how to manage your stress. So I had explained to you what is stress and what are the types of stress. I have also explained to you the causes of stress. In the next class, I will explain you how to manage stress, what is the concept of stress management, and how to manage stress. Okay, so that's all for today, students. If you have any questions, you can ask me.
Ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, 28 is present.
28.
28.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, 042 present.
28. 1 minute, huh? 28042.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, 22 present.
22 present. Is there anyone?
Ma'am, 64.
64. Yeah, yes, I have marked you present. Is there any other student who did not or could not respond to the roll calls? Have you all understood, students? Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay, any doubts?
No, ma'am.
Okay, then I will continue in the next class. So in the next class, I will end this topic stress management. In the next class, I'll explain you what is stress management, the concept of stress management, and how to actually manage stress, or when you feel stress, what to do at that particular moment in order to manage stress. So I have today explained you the causes. In the next class, I will explain you the ways to overcome stress or manage stress. So that's all for today, students. Thank you, everyone. Take care. And tomorrow is Vishwakarma Puja, so I think you'll not have your class. I'll inform you, okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, thank you,
Okay, ma'am.
everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye
Thank you.
bye.